Hello viewers. Welcome to a new tour guide. Today we will know about the state of Alaska in the United States of America. This is the second episode. If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel, so let's go. Get around in Alaska. Most cities and villages outside the south central region or southern interior are accessible only by sea or air. The Alaska Marine Highway System also serves the cities of Southeast and the Alaska Peninsula. Cities not served by road or sea can only be reached by air, accounting for Alaska's extremely well-developed bush air services, and Alaskan novelty. Traveling by plane. Although Anchorage is accessible via most major domestic carriers and some international carriers, Alaska Airlines has a virtual monopoly on jet air travel within the state, meaning prices are incredibly high compared to comparable distances in the lower 48. The airline offers frequent jet service from Anchorage and Fairbanks to regional hubs like Bethel, Nome, Kotzebue, Dillingham, Kodiak, and other larger communities and significant Southeast and the Alaska Peninsula communities. Smaller communities are served by the Central Regional Jet and Turboprop commuter airlines, Grant Aviation and Round Alaska. The smallest towns and villages must rely on scheduled or chartered bush flying services using general aviation aircraft such as the Cessna Caravan, the Piper Navajo, or the smaller Cessna 207, the most famous aircraft in use in the state. But perhaps the most quintessentially Alaskan plane is the seaplane. The world's busiest seaplane base is Lake Hood, next to Ted Stevens Airport in Anchorage, where flights bound for remote areas carry passengers, cargo, and many items from Costco and Sam's Club. Small planes are a great way to get around Alaska if you can afford them. After you have touched down from your primary flight to Alaska, you can board small planes that can transport you fast and efficiently. Many places aren't accessible by car or truck, so small planes are commonly used to get to the destinations quickly. If you are going on a hunting trip, the chances are that you will need to board one of these planes to get there. Hunting areas in Alaska are sometimes commercialized for tourists. Other tourists commonly hunt the areas that they bring you to. This continued use has made it a lot easier for pilots to land. A pilot can land on the flat ground continuously for landing small planes onto. ConocoPhillips and BP also have their airline as ConocoPhillips or BP Joint Service Aviation, which operates shuttle flights to the North Slope from Anchorage and Fairbanks for employees and contractors of BP, ConocoPhillips, and other contracting companies established in the North Slope. Traveling by train. The Alaska Railroad runs from Seward through Anchorage, Denali, and Fairbanks to the North Pole, with a spur to Whittier. The railroad is famous for its summertime passenger services. It plays a vital part in moving Alaska's natural resources, primarily coal, to ports in Anchorage, Whittier, and Seward, and fuel and gravel for use in Anchorage. The Alaska Railroad is the only remaining railroad in North America to use cabooses on its freight trains. The route between Talkeetna and Hurricane, between Talkeetna and Denali, features one of the last remaining flag-stop train services in North America. A stretch of the track along an area inaccessible by road serves as the only transportation to cabins in the area. Residents board the train in Talkeetna and tell the conductor where they want to get off. When they want to come to town, they wait by the side of the tracks and flag the train, giving it its name. Traveling by car. Alaska is the least connected state in terms of road transportation. The state's road system covers a relatively small area, linking the central population centers and the Alaska Highway, the principal route out of the state through Canada. Juneau's state capital is not accessible by road, which has spurred several debates over the decades about moving the capital to a city on the road system. One unique feature of the road system is the Anton Anderson Memorial Tunnel, which links the Seward Highway south of Anchorage with the relatively isolated community of Whittier. The tunnel is the longest road tunnel in North America at nearly 2.5 miles and combines a one-lane roadway and train tracks in the same housing. Consequently, eastbound traffic, westbound traffic, and the Alaska Railroad must share the tunnel, resulting in waits up to 45 minutes to enter. For specific times, see the schedule. Alaskans never refer to roads or highways by numerical designations in their daily discourse, instead preferring named designations such as Seward Highway or Glen Highway. If you use the route numbers, Alaskans will probably not know what you are referring to. Anchorage and Fairbanks are served by all major national rental car chains and several independents. Some smaller towns around the state may also have a national chain company presence. Renting a car in Alaska can be more expensive than pretty much anywhere else in the United States, ranging up to $200 per day for a large vehicle sufficient to carry multiple passengers and outdoor gear during the peak season. However, in the dead of winter, you can sometimes grab a vehicle for under $10 per day. Renting at the Anchorage or Fairbanks Airport incurs a 10 to 12% additional airport surcharge plus an additional $4.81 per day in Anchorage. Suppose you're renting for more than a few days. In that case, it might be worth the hassle to rent your vehicle at an off-airport location, which usually involves taxi rides or shuffling between the hotel and rental car courtesy shuttles. Check with each agency or search off-airport rental cars using an online travel agency to see what cost savings may be available. Be aware that in winter, roads are maintained for winter drivability. Outside of urban centers, they are generally not cleared down to the pavement, and salt application is unheard of in much of the state, with sand being used instead to add traction. There is, therefore, still a layer of snow or ice on top of the road surface, which is optimal for an adequately outfitted vehicle with appropriate tires, which your rental car probably is not. Traveling by bus. For those traveling independently without a car, several companies connect Anchorage to Kenai Peninsula to the south and Denali National Park and Fairbanks to the north in the interior and south-central parts of the state on a regularly scheduled basis, most accessible by road. There is also limited service up to Prudhoe Bay on the Arctic coast from Fairbanks by the Dalton Highway Express and over to Whitehorse YT by Alaska-Yukon trails. Bus services outside of the interior and south-central regions are limited due to the limited availability of roads. See the separate article for a particular locale as to what may be available there. Bus companies in Alaska come and frequently go, with one going out of business and another taking its place while some merged into one company. The following have been consistent and stable over the last few years. 1. Airlines Alaska Yukon Trails, 1213 Dolphin Way, Fairbanks, AK 99709, phone number is +1 907 452 3337. Goes between Fairbanks, Denali, Talkeetna, and Anchorage on one route and between Fairbanks, Dawson City, and Whitehorse on another route. 2. Alaska Bus Company, Popo Box 2270, Homer AK 99603, phone number is +1 907 299 6806. Bus between Anchorage, Girdwood, Cooper Landing, Soldotna, and Homer. 3. Dalton Highway Express, phone number is +1 907 474 3555. Goes up from Fairbanks to Deadhorse in Prudhoe Bay through the Brooks Range along the Dalton HWY. 4. Interior Alaska Bus Lines, phone number is +1 907 883 0207, toll free, +1 800 770 6652, fax, +1 866 244 5691, alaskabus@aptalaska.net. Provides inexpensive transportation between Anchorage and Fairbanks through Talk and from Anchorage to Glenallen on two separate routes. 5. Park Connection Motor Coach, 9170 Jewel Lake Road, Suite 202, Anchorage AK 99502, phone number is +1 907 245 0200, fax, +1 907 245 0400. The Park Connection bus line offers service in Alaska from Seward and Whittier in the south, north through Anchorage and Talkeetna to Denali National Park. They have multiple trips per day to most destinations, including the Park to Park, Denali Express, Seward Express, Whittier Cruise Shuttles, and Seward Cruise Shuttles. 6. Seward Bus Lines, phone number is +1 907 563 0800 in Anchorage, +1 907 244 3608 in Seward, toll free, +1 888 420 7788. Operates buses between Anchorage, Seward, and Whittier. 7. Stage Lines, in Office P.O. Box 353, Anchor Point AK 99556, phone number is +1 907 868 3914 in Anchorage, +1 907 235 2252 in Homer. They offer passenger transportation, freight, parcel, and courier service between Anchorage and several places in the Kenai Peninsula to the south. Some of the above companies also offer chartered and sightseeing services in addition to their regularly scheduled services. Some may operate seasonally in the summer, while others work year-round with different schedules for winter and summer. Check their website or call them. Traveling by bike. While sidewalks and bike paths are present in the main cities, bicycling along significant highways is dangerous. Areas near the main cities occasionally offer bike paths and wide shoulders. Still, many areas of Alaska's main highways are not advisable for bicycling. The Seward and portions of the Glen highways, in particular, have very narrow shoulders and are flanked by cliffs on one or both sides, leaving very little or no room for pedestrians and bicyclists to travel safely. Traveling by boat. One of the best ways to see Alaska is by cruise ship. Cruise ships bring you wonderfully close to glaciers, whales, and rocky coasts. Larger boats offer more amenities, while small ships and yachts carrying 12 to 100 passengers go where the big ships can't, getting you up close to Alaska's nature and wildlife. Many vessels include naturalist-guided hikes and sea kayaking right from the ship, perfect for active, casual travelers. Cruise ships have two main itineraries: the Inside Passage route going round-trip from Seattle, Washington, or Vancouver, Canada, and the Gulf route running northbound and southbound cruises between Vancouver and Seward or Whittier. Companies offering cruises in Alaska include 1. Holland America. The Glacier Discovery cruise offered by Holland America Line runs between Seward and Vancouver, BC. 2. Princess Cruises offers Inside Passage and Glacier Bay routes and round trips from San Francisco. 3. Adventure Life offers small ship cruising exclusively, working with vessels in Alaska ranging from 32 to 138 passengers. 4. Norwegian Cruise Line offers only round trips in Seattle and Vancouver. 5. Carnival Cruises has only one ship in Alaska annually, mainly northbound and southbound cruises. 6. Regent Seven Seas Cruises, a luxury cruise line with all-inclusive cruises to Alaska. 7. Cruise 118, Cruise 118 holiday cruises from Southampton to the Mediterranean, Alaska, and the Caribbean. 8. Disney Cruise Line's Inside Passage trip to Tracy Arm, Ketchikan, Skagway, and Juneau leaving from Vancouver. This is a great way to see the glaciers in Tracy Arm, as it is smaller than Princess or Carnival, so it can get closer, farther, and do a 360 degrees turn. Alaska Marine Highway System. Phone number is +1 800 526 6731. Alaska's Marine Highway consists of over 8,000 miles of coastal ocean routes connecting 31 port communities throughout southeast, south central, and southwest Alaska. 2 additional ports are located outside Alaska, one in British Columbia and Washington. It forms an essential method of transportation for many residents in towns to which there is no road access. The Marine Highway System also allows walk-on travelers, bicycles, and commercial vehicles. You can arrange your cabin on the ferry, pitch a tent, or roll out a sleeping bag on the upper decks. Naturalists are sometimes on board to give commentary on sights and wildlife. Of course, after you get off the boat, you'll want to stay and explore Alaska's inland destinations. Don't get straight on an airplane and head home, you'll miss out on some of the best Alaska has to offer. Also, try a fishing charter at any of Alaska's fine coastal communities and send your catch home to your family or friends. See you in Alaska. Alaska is huge. It spans what once were 5 time zones. It's so prominent, you probably won't scratch the surface of what it offers in terms of geography, wildlife, local flavor, or Alaska native culture. You might visit a couple of the regions of the state during your visit. It is quite possible to experience the ancient rainforest of southeast Alaska, camp in Denali National Park, and kayak among icebergs in Prince William Sound on the same trip. Another option is to focus on a smaller state region, spend enough time for a better look, and then plan a return trip to explore a different region. Alaska does not have to be a once-in-a-lifetime destination. 3 weeks in the Inside Passage, traveling from town to town by ferry is likely to leave you wanting more time if you enjoy hiking, sea kayaking, fishing, wildlife watching, scenery, native culture, and biking. The Kenai Peninsula. South of Anchorage is another region worthy of an extended stay and is easily accessed from Anchorage. Plenty of public campgrounds makes this an extremely affordable do-it-yourself destination if you have a few folks to share the cost of a rental car. And Anchorage, Denali, Fairbanks, Valdez driving loop offers plenty to see and do for 2 weeks or more. It can be quite affordable with camping in a shared rental car. Do in Alaska. There are many things to do when traveling to Alaska. If you are adventurous, Alaska will be a great place to go. You can go hiking, biking, kayaking, fishing, and expeditions to see the wildlife of Alaska like wolves, whales, moose, and bears. There are also month-long expeditions to the top of Denali. 1. A journey on the Dalton Highway provides a unique experience. The highway crosses mountains and tundra, the Arctic Circle, and 414 miles of pristine wilderness. 2. Stay up late to see the midnight sun. It's fascinating to watch in the summer when daytime seems endless. Anyone traveling to Alaska should make a trip to Denali. It is beautiful and the highest point in North America. You can see it from hundreds of miles away when there are clear skies. However, if you get the opportunity to take a trip to see it up close, do it. An ATV ride up the side of a mountain can be one of the most eventful experiences of your journey. On the way up the path, you will see vegetation and wildlife that you can't see anywhere else. Once you finally get to the top of the mountain, you will see one of the most beautiful sights in all of the United States. Digital cameras and photos don't do the mountain's beauty enough justice. The mosaic of blues, whites, grays, and greens will leave you astonished. Not everyone is a fisherman. Many people enjoy catching fish but hate waiting around to try and see one. Well, if you are one of those people, try fishing in Alaska. You will be amazed at how quickly you can catch fish there if you are in the right spot. You can leave the river every day with your daily limit of fresh Alaskan salmon. Plenty of charter fishing operators will take you out to fish in some of the best areas. Buy in Alaska. In Alaska cruise ports, the tourist shopping experience is dominated by jewelry, t-shirts, and trinkets that could be purchased at any major cruise port in the world, perhaps from the same chain shop. Yes, there are good buys occasionally, but local products can be challenging to find. If you are on a cruise ship, don't be afraid to visit stores not listed on the preferred business list provided by the cruise line. Those businesses paid a premium to be recorded and don't necessarily represent the higher quality or better selection. Local Alaskan artists are found in co-op and locally owned galleries, from fiction to photos to non-fiction to children's, many books by Alaska writers, photographers, and illustrators. Be sure to look for the distinctive, "Made in Alaska" sticker on products in gift shops and stores. When purchasing native-made handicrafts, keep the laws of your home country in mind. Foreign travelers may find that they cannot bring their purchase home due to regulations regarding one or more of the materials used, which frequently range from whale baleen and bone to various furs, skins, teeth, and other wild animal products, and may in some cases include artifact materials such as fossilized bone or tusk. Eat in Alaska. Alaskans love their food, fresh or otherwise. You need good feed to keep up with daily life here. The portions in this state are huge. Almost every little town will have a local diner to get a filling breakfast and lots of hot coffee. Try the reindeer sausage with your eggs and hash in the morning, and you'll feel like a true Alaskan. Some foods indigenous to this area are fireweed honey and spruce tip syrup made from the Sitka spruce, which commonly grows throughout Alaska. Of course, there is perhaps the most well-known Alaskan produce, seafood. Alaska's fishing grounds are among some of the richest globally and feature, among other delicacies, king and snow crab, which is exported worldwide. Many local restaurants close to the shore serve fresh halibut and salmon daily, right off the boats. Fried halibut less than 24 hours out of the water is an experience like no other. The fish doesn't even need to be chewed. It is so tender. Fresh salmon is usually best grilled or roasted. Crab is almost always pre-boiled at sea to preserve its freshness. Most coastal towns also have at least one place serving sushi made with local fish. Like most other things in Alaska, restaurant prices tend to be relatively high. Still, the experience of eating genuinely fresh seafood is worth it. Most things in Alaska will feel like they are overpriced. Still, They are expensive because it is so expensive to transport goods and food to Alaska. Don't rob yourself by ordering pasta or spaghetti if you are out to eat. Get some type of seafood or meat. Do not expect to find moose, bear, or other genuinely wild game on the menu at restaurants, as it is illegal to sell game meat. Reindeer can commonly be found, and elk or yak will show up occasionally. In these cases, the animals have been raised domestically. Many restaurants in Alaska serve catch of the day and other seafood, especially along the coast. Chefs will almost always have a new spin on your favorite seafood that you'll never have the opportunity of trying again. Alaska is famous for its Alaskan king crab legs. Many people think that they've had them before. Still, often they are sold as Alaskan king crab legs in the lower 48 states, and they aren't Alaskan king crabs, and if they are, they aren't even close to as fresh as they are in Alaska. Many restaurants will cook them in lemon juice, butter, and Old Bay seasoning. You will know when you've had an Alaskan king crab leg because the legs are about the same thickness as a woman's wrist. Drink in Alaska. In Alaska, beer is a big deal, with 7 breweries in Anchorage alone. Alaskan Brewing Company in Juneau is the best-known brewery in the state, and its Alaskan Amber leads beer sales. Other towns with local breweries include Homer, Haines, Kodiak, Fox, and Wasilla. In January, there is the Great Alaska Beer and Barley Wine event. It is the 3rd largest in the United States and may be the most significant event highlighting barley wine in the U.S. In addition to its brewery, both products are available at local bars, restaurants, and liquor stores. Homer Brewery is fiercely local, and their fresh ales are only available in the Homer area. The Bear Creek Winery creates extraordinary vintages using imported grapes and various Alaskan berries. Varietals range from Chardonnay to port, and flavors abound. The winery offers free tastings daily and has a minimal number of luxury rooms to rent for those who want to soak in the experience. Homer has a thriving nightlife, especially in the summer, so if you're going to mix and mingle with real Alaskans, this is an excellent place to do it. In general, Alaska's liquor laws are no more or less restrictive than other states. However, 2 things may surprise you when you look for a drink. Firstly, alcohol may not be sold in the same store as groceries or general merchandise. Still, many large groceries get around this by having a liquor store attached to the main store. Second, and unique to Alaska, an intoxicated person may not remain on the premises of an establishment with a liquor license, regardless of where they got drunk, so as a practical matter, you must leave a bar once you have had enough to drink. It is helpful because it is enforced, especially when patrons get too rowdy. Respect in Alaska. When hiking or visiting a natural area, do not pick flowers or collect natural features, particularly in a national park or forest. These are protected areas, and if everyone took something away, it would spoil it for everyone else. Picking flowers takes away nectar that is vital for insects. Don't litter. Alaska is a beautiful state, and the best way of keeping it that way is just by respect to the land. It is easy to throw your trash and cigarette butts away correctly. By doing so, you are saving countless plants and animals. Please don't be lazy, and throw your stuff in the garbage. Some folks think it is appropriate when camping to use the fire ring as a waste incinerator and just throw cigarette butts, garbage, and even cans and bottles into it. This is not proper waste disposal and is extremely discourteous, not to mention the toxic fumes from burning such things. If you pack it in, pack it out and dispose of it properly. This may seem a bit odd, but it is also courteous to clean your shoes before hiking in Alaska. Numerous invasive plant species have plagued Alaska, and you may have seeds on the soles of your shoes. Even within the state, there are so many different environments that this is a genuine concern, and many trailheads have a shoe brushing station for this reason. The same applies to boats. It's best to thoroughly clean the hull before putting it in Alaska's waters. Car washes are most effective for this. Natives in Alaska. Alaska natives do not like being referred to as Indians, Eskimos, or Inuit. They are not a monolithic culture. There are numerous tribes, now organized into native corporations. Like most indigenous people in the Americas, They were cruelly victimized and wantonly killed by outsiders in the past and were subject to coordinated attempts to destroy their unique cultures, such as forced family separations and punishing children for speaking their language in school. You may find yourself staying in their hotels and lodges and riding on their tour boats, and wherever you go, it used to be their land at some point, so it's not a great idea to stereotype or mock them. Stay safe in Alaska. Alaska enjoys a comparatively low crime rate and is generally a safe place to travel. Anchorage is an actual, big city, and street crime is not uncommon. Some areas of Fairbanks have disturbingly high rates of drug and alcohol-related violence, prostitution, assaults, and murders, and Fairbanks as a whole has a severe issue of property crime. Despite this, corruption in Fairbanks and Alaska, in general, is almost always done by people who know each other and very rarely, if ever, targeted towards tourists. If you use common sense, chances are you won't run into any trouble. While Alaska is wild and beautiful, it does not tolerate fools easily. It is quite possible to get lost, cold, wet, and even die, all within sight of downtown Anchorage. The state's populace varies between extremely friendly to tourists and openly hostile. A standard bumper sticker says, "If it's tourist season, why can't we shoot 'em?" Many Alaskans are understandably tired of those people from the lower 48 inches who heads north to live out ill-conceived, and sometimes fatal, fantasies of living off the land. The remote parts of the state are its jewels, but you are prepared for the trip you plan. Do your homework, and plan on being self-sufficient. Consider using a guide checking out local conditions with locals before jumping in the kayak and heading for yonder point that looks so nice on the map. The water in Alaska is so cold falling overboard can be fatal within minutes. More importantly, self-rescue often becomes impossible within seconds, especially around glacier-fed rivers. Treatment for hypothermia is required reading before doing any water sports, even during warm weather. Southern Alaska is on the Pacific Ring of Fire, the world's most seismically active region, so earthquakes are at risk. A word about bears. There's an old joke about determining if you are in bear country in Alaska. Take out a map of the state and make a circle around the downtown area of Anchorage. If you are outside the process, you are in bear country. Although a humorous way of phrasing it, this is true. Assume bears are present in any area of Alaska, even if you do not see them. Both black and brown bears are present in Alaska. Polar bear earthquakes are risk north, but you probably won't be going all the way into their territory. If you do, it would be wise to make peace with whatever higher power you may believe in before walking around anywhere without a giant gun. You are in a bear's territory if you see significant claw scratches on a tree. Be especially cautious just after sunset and just before dawn. Never leave food, water, or garbage unattended outdoors, or it may attract a bear. Bears are wild animals, and their behavior can be inconsistent. Never approach a bear. Never run from a bear as it will see you like food, and it can run faster than you. If you encounter a bear, you should stand your ground. Make lots of noise and wave your arms. Suppose you have any metallic objects, bang them against one another. Even when bears charge humans, they do not attack in most cases. But if you run towards one, surprise it while it is eating, run from it, or get anywhere near a cub, the chances of an attack significantly increase. While it is incredible to see bears, the safest thing for you and them is to observe them quietly from a distance and never approach them closely. If you leave food or garbage out and a bear eats it, you have endangered the bear's life even if you don't see it happen. Studies have shown that the previously employed tactic of trapping and relocating bears that have become habituated was ineffective. The bears either returned to the same areas eventually or sought other sources of human foods. So now, trouble bears are killed by park rangers or law enforcement agencies instead. Moose are even more common in most areas of the state, are just as dangerous, and attack humans more frequently than bears. Moose may be herbivores and seem like slow-moving, lumbering animals. Still, they have sharp hooves and can strike with surprising speed and accuracy. Moose are not territorial, but they have a strong desire to defend their personal space, especially mothers with calves. Signs that indicate a moose is agitated include the laying back of their large ears, lowering the head, snorting, and stomping their hooves. Unlike with bears, it is wisest to simply run if a moose acts aggressively towards you or charges. They just want you to leave them alone, so keep your distance. Be aware of moose as well when driving. Every year dozens of moose are killed, and many humans are being injured or killed by collisions between vehicles and moose. The long legs make it dangerous as often the car's bumper will strike the moose only in the legs. Its enormous body will impact the windshield, so slow down if moose are present. They sometimes get spooked by cars and will suddenly sprint in unpredictable directions. If you are traveling with a dog, keep it restrained at all times. Dogs have been known to antagonize moose, wolves, and even bears and are often injured by the quills of porcupines. It is no fun to pull little spikes out of a dog's face with a pair of pliers, so for the sake of both the wildlife and your dog, keep it under your control and don't let it run free. See Wilderness Backpacking for more information about staying safe in areas of known bear activity. Go next after Alaska. 1. Yukon. Canada's Yukon shares most of Alaska's eastern border. 2. British Columbia. Portions of British Columbia share a border with the Alaska Panhandle. 3. Washington. While not connected to Alaska, Washington is the departure point for many visitors to the state. 4. Russian Far East. Located just 85 kilometers across the Bering Strait, Alaska's neighbor to the west has greatly influenced the state's history and culture, despite being, in fact, just out of viewing distance. Connections to Far Eastern Russia are relatively scarce. Aside from some flights in the summer, you will probably need to travel via East Asia. This is all about the last episode. Thank you for watching this video entirely. If you want, you can watch the other tour guides of the USA. If you like this video, I will say again, please subscribe to this channel. Thank you very much.